Demons of the Shadow Realm, the new manga by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, Hiromi Arakawa, is getting its anime adaptation in April of 2026. At the point of this video probably coming out, it's probably going to release within a week of this video coming out. But either way, it is something that I and many others have been looking forward to for years now. The manga came out in December of 2021, so literally it's been out for 5 years, half a decade, and so now we're finally getting the anime adaptation. Now, many are going to be wondering why it took so long for this to get an anime. Well, that's because Demons of the Shadow Realm is a monthly manga. It releases one chapter every single month, and it's been doing so for the last 5 years, save for a break every once in a while. And at the point we're recording this video, we broke 50 chapters. So there's a significant amount of material to be adapted for the anime, which is going to be 2 consecutive cours, meaning it's going to be about 24 to 26 episodes in length, back to back, so it'll most likely end up ending towards the end of the summer, which it's going to be great. It's going to be a nice 6 months of just really good content. But if you've only heard about this series through the announcement of the anime and that it's from the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, probably one of, if not the greatest anime/manga of all time, according to many others, and I would put it up in that regard, obviously. You're probably wondering what this story is about, what to expect from it, who are the characters, is there a power system like in Full Metal Alchemist? Well, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before watching Demons of the Shadow Realm Season 1. But before we get into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys know the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. And if you want to see more of me outside this channel, go and check out my second channel, GW Comics, where I talk about comic books. Right now, I am pretty much DC focused for the most part, but I'm going to branch into more stuff. It's a passion project of mine if you want to see more of me over there. If you're interested in comics, just want to hear some stuff here and there from me, go and check it out. Link in the description and in the title card. Now then, let's jump right into the video. So, obviously, I'm not going to spoil the entirety of Season 1 of Demons of the Shadow Realm for you guys, because then why would you watch the show? So I'm going to give you a generalized idea of what the plot is, primarily stuff from the first and maybe second episode, and some stuff that would be sprinkled throughout at least the first core of the anime, so that you guys have a general understanding going in, and see if you will be interested in this show. So, what is the plot of Demons of the Shadow Realm? Well, this actually follows our protagonist Yuru, who comes from a rural village up in the mountainside. And he grew up essentially an orphan along with his twin sister Asa. In this village, Yuru is a hunter and helps provide for the rest of the village. Very close, tight-knit family, and he pretty much lives with his grandmother. But his sister Asa is in some sort of cage pretty much all day, with Yuru visiting her every single day being the only moment of, well, happiness that she really has and relief. But one day, after a merchant coming in by the name of Dara comes into the village, something mysteriously happens, as there is this massive shockwave across the village, as multitudes of mysterious people show up in helicopters, military gear, automatic weaponry, and a tall woman who looks like Asa with an eye patch over her eye, and another girl who is just seemingly chopping people away with her hand motions, as they are pretty much leading the charge. Now, Yuru comes back and is being taken away by Dara so he can escape. But before Dara can get Yuru off of the mountainside, he basically uses a pendant that Yuru has, and some of Yuru's blood after getting him his nose bloody, to awaken these 2 guardian deities of the village that are just known as the Divine Right and Left, that are known as demon pairs. This is essentially the power system of this world. Humans contract themselves with demons, or mysterious creatures. However, the unique thing about these abilities and creatures is that they appear in pairs. From relics and artifacts, the second they create a contract using the blood of someone that wants to make a pact with them, they awaken from their relic forms and are under the contract and control of whatever human ends up giving them their blood for the contract. In the case of Right and Left, they are stone statues that are pretty much hard as stone and incredibly strong, powerful, and can launch shockwave attacks and can have more energy-based forms as well. And demons are effectively invisible to the naked eye. Thus, only people who have contracts with demons can view them, or if the demons themselves consciously want people to see them when they normally can be invisible. It's also why these demons have basically been unnoticed by the general public, but they're also based off of myth and legend, as whatever we see in myth and legends, whether it be UFO sightings or ancient deities or some stuff like that, they're traced back to these demon pairs, and each demon pair complement each other with one way or the other. If you want a more in-depth video on demon pairs right now, let me know in the comments. I'll make a separate video on that, because that could be a whole video in and of itself. But as they're awakened, they go off and try and help the rest of the villagers from the assault from these mysterious invaders. As previous to this, Yuru ends up seeing what seems to be his sister being killed or brutally injured, but it's this bizarre shadow creature that we believe to be his grandmother's demon, or at least one of the demons of her demon pair, as the girl revealed, as I said, was Asa, and she came to this village to get her brother and to kill everyone else in this village. This, to her, is a rescue mission, and earlier at the beginning, Dara, the merchant, who is revealed to be some sort of mercenary of some sort, or more important person who knows how to use firearms and such, knows that Asa showed up to the village. So there's this interwoven web of mystery as to why these twins are separated. But in the chaos of the village going about, Yuru's demons left and right end up scattering to go and basically help the villagers and stop the people that are attacking people, when Wright ends up going to face Gabby and her demon pair, who we will later learn is called Gabriel. These two giant multi-eyed teeth. Yes, these are a pair that make up a literal jaw teeth thing. And they are menacing, because literally every hand motion Gabby makes is to command Gabriel to literally chomp on people. So it is an insanely simple and brutal ability and creature to have in your disposal. Demon pairs pretty much work like, let's say, Pokemon, or in the more personal things in terms of connection, Digimon, if I'm being honest with myself, since everyone's normally only being able to contract to one demon pair. But regardless of the fact, after this big conflict, Dara, Right, and Left have to flee what is known as Higashi Village in order to get Yuru off the mountain, as we get the reveal that Higashi Village is a hidden village that has been sealed off from the rest of the world, and thus people who would go down and back up are people that knew about the outside world but wanted to maintain this rural area, save for maybe the children. And Yuru is thrust into this fish out of water scenario, as he's somebody who is from what would seem to be a feudal time period into modern day Japan. With the help of Dara and his confidant, and what also goes by the codename Gravedigger, Hana, and her demon pairs, they basically set up a civilian life for Yuru in terms of a cover, as they try to not only explain to Yuru why he is being hunted down, but also the importance of him and his sister Asa, and confirms that the girl that appeared in this village with the eye patch was in fact his twin sister Asa. Because in the beginning of chapter 1, in what I assume episode 1 will start off with, will be the birth of Yuru and Asa, as they're said to be a prophecy of twins being born in the twilight, between night and day, and each of them will represent those, with Yuru with his blonde hair representing the day, and Asa with her black hair representing the night. And these two twins are coveted for their powers and potential that they would potentially awaken. All I will tell you is that their powers are called Break and Seal. I will not reveal any more to that, as that is important to the plot, and once that gets revealed, you will be blown away by what the implications for these abilities are, as well as what the later destiny can entail. But Dara begins to explain even more outside of what the potential destiny is, or at least the baseline of what he knows, because despite him being well informed, there is a lot that even he doesn't know. He is part of the Dara clan, and he's basically been in charge of the protection of Higashi Village and all of that stuff. They kind of been working together. But Higashi Village has had some enemies that wanted to take the power of the destined twins with the power of Break and Seal for themselves. That's usually between Higashi Village and another faction called the Kagemori family, who have been in modern day Japan for years, building up their power and influence. They're basically sort of like a Yakuza family with demon pairs, and they have been looking after Asa ever since an incident where she and apparently their parents ended up leaving Higashi Village. But to keep Yuru unaware of things, we'll just tell him that his parents left and they have no idea what happened to them, but had this demon pretend to be his sister so Yuru would not want to leave the village and keep up this whole facade. Now, everything with Higashi Village especially has a much deeper mystery to it, to its origins, to even Right and Left's previous masters, that even right now in the manga are starting to become even more explored as we get introduced to even more insane factions that get introduced with their own demon pairs and their own unique motives and origins. It is a really nice web of things. It shows Arakawa, even after Fullmetal Alchemist, knows how to build up a world and characters, flesh them out individually with their own specific chapters and moments, and continually build towards something greater with different factions and motivations to some grander mystery or plot that will be revealed later down the road, as we get more development for Asa and Yuru. At the beginning, we'll come into blows with the Kagemoris, but then we'll see some more complicated things happening as well as you get introduced to even more characters from each faction. We'll primarily learn more about the Kagemoris as they are the immediate faction that we'll have to deal with, as they're the ones that infiltrated Higashi Village, and thus Yuru being attacked and later wanting to be basically brought into the fold alongside Asa. But all you need to know is the more important names to keep an eye out for once they're revealed. And when we get to know them, there's Gonzo Kagemori, who is the head of the Kagemori clan, and the whole family. Runs pretty much the entirety of the operation, and has been the one to kind of kept Asa as a child to protect her from a lot of stuff that's going on when it comes to the Destined Twins. There was a lot more to happen with the Kagemori family, and a lot more depth and nuance to them as well. But aside from the literal head of the clan, there is his son next in line, Hikaru, who is a manga artist, surprisingly enough, and is probably one of the nicest people in the entire in this entire series, if I'm being honest with myself. There is Asuma, a very mysterious character whose allegiance we immediately begin to question and wonder what is up with. And lastly, there is Jin, who is essentially the protector of Asa alongside Gabi, and he's more or less an enforcer for the Kagemori family, who, I'm just going to say this right now, his demon pair is so cool and so clever that I really just want you guys to figure that out for yourselves. All I'll tell you is, it's perfect for the guy. That's really it. But yes, throughout Season 1, we will get introduced to each and every member of the Kagemori family, their demon pairs, their motivations, why they've had Asa for these last couple of years, and more to the truth of Higashi Village, and everything intertwined with the mysterious twin pairs and their inevitable destiny and potential abilities. A lot of complications happen. We will get multitudes of different fights. We'll have a lot of fish out of water scenarios for Yuru and obviously Left and Right, since they've been in a rural area for a long time. And we'll get to know more of the characters going forward. Honestly, one of my personal favorite characters in the series is Hana, because she's probably the most relatable character in the series, despite her literally being someone that disposes bodies for anybody that pays. But that's besides the point. Demons of the Shadow Realm overall is just a really interesting supernatural mystery series with some really fantastic action sequences, because not only do we have these different factions fighting for what essentially control or protection of the two twins of Asa and Yuru, but we also have some mysterious stuff like what happened to Yuru and Asa's parents, as at the moment, especially at the beginning, we have no idea where they are, and we're starting to try and gather clues. Some truces, alliances. All these different factions have their own motives, and sometimes their motives align, with some very interesting and cool twists and turns that will catch you on the edge of your seat. Now, with the potential this series has, while it's only 50 chapters long, it does have the potential to make it to the level of Fullmetal Alchemist, because up to this point, Fullmetal Alchemist, while being the first real manga that Hiromi Arakawa had as a breakout hit, and is basically her magnum opus seemingly, Demons of the Shadow Realm, with what it has built up so far in the manga, and with so much more to explore, does have the potential to be just as big, if not greater, than Fullmetal Alchemist. But that's big words to say. But with the action, the revelations, and the more rediscovering the familial bond and sibling bond between Asa and Yuru, which funnily enough, this is another series that Arakawa did that has two siblings as the main characters of the series, we'll have a lot of awkward, funny, and just sweet moments between these characters, as Asa really just wants to be with her brother, and not in the creepy way, believe you me. Trust me, this isn't that kind of series. I can't believe I'm at a point where I have to emphasize this shit. But no, she wants to have her only family back. She hasn't seen her brother in years, and her parents are missing. The Kagemoris have basically filled that role of a family for her, and Anyuro has been duped his entire life by the people that he viewed as family. So now you have these two unique perspectives meeting together and trying to basically repair and rekindle that sibling relationship that they had when they were younger kids, while also dealing with basically fighting for their lives and trying to fully trust one another once more and the people around the other. It's a complicated web, and it's something that I enjoy every single month with each chapter. But for right now, that's all I'm going to say about Demons of the Shadow Realm. This is the baseline generalization of the plot and characters. I could go into more depth, but I'd literally just be spoiling the entire story up to this point. So that's everything you need to know going into Season 1 of Demons of the Shadow Realm. Again, it's probably going to be 24 to 26 episodes since this is a consecutive 2-core coming out in April. So let me know what you guys thought. Are you guys excited for Demons of the Shadow Realm? Does this get you interested, or do you want more in-depth stuff on Demons of the Shadow Realm? Maybe I'll do some recap videos of arcs leading up to the current stuff in the manga. Maybe I'll start reviewing the manga again if there is interest. And once more, since I said at the beginning, let me know if you want a video on me going over what demon pairs are and just a bit more detail on that to give you guys a better understanding of what demon pairs are, because they are essentially the power system of this series. And the powers and destiny of Asa and Anyuro could literally be a video in and of itself, so I could do that as well. So let me know in the comments down below. But with that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to what you guys think of Demons of the Shadow Realm when it comes out in April. You know, I'll be excited. Maybe I'll make a video going over the first couple of episodes of the anime, depending on my thoughts on it as a manga reader from day one. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Look, all I'm saying is that Hana might be dangerous and she might be capable of killing me, especially with her demon pairs, but not only is she cool and a badass, but I would marry her the second I see her. I fell in love the second I saw her, and I expect anime onlys to do the same.